Take that again, yo. Yo, what's up? Yo.
With 2 viewers.
What up, guys? What's going on? Gothic, thanks for the raid, friendo. Appreciate it. Here. The crew too. Sick. Hope you had a good stream. Thanks for the raid. Good to see you this morning. What's up, everybody? Go check out Gothic. Maybe throw a follow out there. You know what I mean? Show some of that outsider love. You know. What's up, Wick? Hope everybody's doing well. This dude. Good. I'm glad, Gothic. That's awesome. That's awesome. Happy Tuesday, guys. We got obviously video gaming news for June 27th, and we've got more ground. It'll be a good day. Tomorrow will be a down day. I'll get to work on some more fun stuff for the community. Hopefully get some more stuff. Oh, is it really, Wick? Hopefully get some more stuff done. Working on some more montages of some fun clips and stuff that happened over the previous year. Things like that. But I'll be working. So hopefully get some more playthroughs put up on YouTube, things of that nature. But I'll let you guys know at the end of the day tomorrow. But today we'll have a good day, full stream, and then day off tomorrow, then back on Thursday for more video gaming news and more grounded. Cool. Again, thanks for the raid, Gothic. I appreciate it, friendo. I'm glad you had a good stream. You guys ready to do what we do? We ready to do what we do, baby? Hop in here and get this going. I am. Let's do this. Let's do it. First of all, we're jamming out to Crypto the Necro Dancer this morning. I love this soundtrack. It's full of bangers as far as I'm concerned, and I really enjoy it. So we listen to it a lot here in the community. Great OST. And it's a rhythm-based adventure RPG type game. So if you're into rhythm-based games, I highly recommend you check this one out, all right? It died last night. I briefly saw something in Discord this morning, but I was like trying to get ready. I didn't get to comment or really take a hard look at it or anything. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's kind of odd. Let's go ahead and pull this up. So what exactly happened? Kill that music, my bad. Kill the music. Let's get in here. Let's do this. Let's see what we got for news this morning. June 27th. 300 plus games added to this week's Xbox sales. See what we got. Oh. Studio behind one of 2023's best games just laid off a ton of developers. Rest mode, wake up, had no power to it. Wouldn't turn on. Interesting. City Skylines 2's simulation is so realistic. Take a peek at this. Okay. Interesting. So, like, it basically, you had it in rest, and it just wouldn't come out of rest, like it was just powered off. Basically, is that how it felt? And then, what was how'd you fix it? Yeah. Gotcha. It might have worked just like unplugging the the PS4 itself and totally removing power from it, like a hard reset. I actually had to do the same thing for one of my monitors this morning. I have a monitor that'll get wonky on me sometimes. That's why it took me a little bit longer to get going this morning. I started everything up. I have a monitor that occasionally, coming out of sleep for my PC, it doesn't happen very often, but occasionally. It's just tech does that sometimes. It'll just get wonky. It needs like a hard reset. But I've got an Asus monitor that likes to be weird on me. My secondary monitor, and sometimes every great once in a while I'll start up my PC and it'll just not detect any kind of video input, and all it takes is cut and power off to the monitor completely. So usually I just unplug it from my power strip, wait a few seconds, plug it back in, everything's fine. It won't happen, but about once every 2 or 3 months, something like that. Is it safe to turn it off all the way? Well, what I would say, usually on any device, whether you're talking about a PC or a console or whatever, if you're going to remove power from it all the way, which is what you basically did with the turning the power off of your drop cable or your you know, that's basically what you did. I mean, it's not usually gonna. If anything goes wrong, the software is so good on these devices nowadays that usually if anything gets a bit funky, it'll go through a process of verifying operating system files to ensure everything's okay. So it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. Usually, what I do is like if it's something like my PC or a console or whatever, because like PlayStations have a switch in the back too, where you can actually just turn off the power to the console first. That's basically turning off power to the power supply. Same thing for like a PC. PC will have the same thing. You can just turn off power to the power supply. So if you like lose power, you're worried about that kind of thing, or you're having some funky issues, you want to just shut everything down. You can. There are different ways to go about it, but usually you're not going to be in a huge, especially if it won't turn on already. If you're already in a situation where the device won't turn on, it's not the same as it being running and you just like yoinking the power cable out, right? It's not in the process of doing anything. It's already without power. So in those kinds of situations, you're not really running a risk of anything. But I would say if you're in a situation where maybe your device has gotten it's frozen, or you know what I mean, it's in a state where it still is running, it has power. The best thing you can do is usually shut it down, hold the power button. You usually will shut it down, and then maybe even turn the power switch off the back of the device to cut power off of it entirely, give it a little bit, then turn it back on and see what happens. You know what I mean? There are different ways. Depends on what device you're talking about, but if the power was already off of it, you weren't really going to hurt anything anyways. You know, I'm glad it started working for you again, though. This FTC stuff is like coming to a boil. I'm ready for it to be over. Tomorrow's the big day. Am I nervous? I'm not nervous at all. I'm not nervous at all, dude. I don't get nervous, Doug. You see this? Everything's going to play out exactly the way it's supposed to. You should be nervous. You should be nervous. I didn't realize what you were talking about at first. What? Really? The ROG Ally mostly beats Valve Steam Deck in repairability? That's a surprise. That's going to be a surprise to me. Let's read that. Outside of the fact that PlayStation MetaQuest Plus is basically just PlayStation Plus for video game. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, interesting. Well, let's take a peek at that. I'm not really familiar with MetaQuest Plus. That'll be Wick will be all about that. He loves Facebook. Wick loves Facebook and Meta. Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and Zuckerberg. He's got a little Zuckerberg statue in his closet with candles around it and stuff. Wick loves Zuckerberg. THQ Nordic's going to strictly limit physical releases of PC games. Wait, there are still companies releasing physical copies of PC games? Physical Batman Arkham Trilogy Switch port, which we just heard, we just found out was coming to the Switch, requires downloads for 2 of the games. Interesting. Dude, this Project Q thing is a scam. I'm sorry, dude, but Project Q is such a scam from PlayStation. A lot of people aren't going to realize it either. I've got videos out there that talk about it. This is just a remote access device. They found a way to develop a device they could make money off of based on really old technology. Really old technology that they should have been giving their player base for a while now as a quality of life option. And it feels bad. It feels bad they're going to be making people pay so much money for something that they should naturally just have as part of buying into the PlayStation platform. It's pretty gross. Now, I'm not saying that this device itself should be free, but remote access absolutely should be, which is all this device is. Yo, Psycho, what's up, Doug? What are you doing, buddy? Game Pass July 2023 free new free games, news, and leaks. See what's going on there. At work still? Boo! Shenanigans, dude. It'll get worse in July? Why? Please do tell, sir. Why do you leave out so many of the outsiders? There's so many outsiders. I feel like you only focus on a number, on like 2 of them. Why? Are those your favorites? We've already got something up on this. Oh, yo. You shake with jam. Yo, Wednesday, what's up? That's all you can remember.
Booty, baby. are pretty funny, Gabs.
Wait, what? Because if it was Michael or Johnny, you could be named after anyone. Wait, what does that even mean? It would have to be an eccentric name to be like, oh no, this is from the Outsiders. Why? Why? Just because well, those were just nicknames though, right? Doesn't it actually tell what their names are in the book outside of what their nicknames are? Garlax. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've read the book, but I thought it actually told what their real names were for like all the characters. Just like Dallas doesn't usually go by Dallas. He goes by Dally quite often in the book. You know what I mean? Same thing with I think isn't wasn't the older one Daryl, but he went by Derry, like Darry or something like that. I think, dude, it's been so long, but a lot of them had nicknames, but those were just their nicknames. It wasn't their real names. So you're just going off of like what you remember, which is what I would be doing too. But you're just like making assumptions, Doug. It's so stupid. You got so many boxes delivered after hours yesterday. Why? Wait, what? How do they even do that? You mean to like the business? That's wild. Yo, Vault, what's up? Wednesday, what's up? Monday through Wednesday is 8 hours. Friday is 16 hours. But from the 1st to 16, picked up 15 more doubles. Ah, Jesus, psycho. Dude, I would be getting burnt out already. Just thinking about that schedule on top of what you've already done. Yeah, to the business. So, what were you just not there, or like? Were you there? It was just after you closed or whatever, or what? What do you mean? Like, how did you get them after hours? It's not like they just left them on your doorstop. Oh, are you serious? Oh, so you've got okay. I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. So there's like a main door to like an area where there's like a lot of shops, and that's right. Yeah, okay. I got you. I was like, how did they get them in there, dude? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've got this up. We'll watch this when this happens, July 12th. Payday 3 plays great, but that's not the biggest challenge this shooter faces. Man, I'm really hyped about Payday 3, yo. Second guess. All right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Whew. Nike's getting into the Fortnite game. Oh my god. How much do you think that contract is to put Nike in Fortnite, dude? They make a lot of money off the promotions of putting product placement in that game. It's insane, man. It's wild. Check our other search. Wait, what? What? Why gaming on Apple Vision Pro is going to be phenomenal. I mean, how many people are actually going to even be able to check this out at $3,000 a pop, dude? It's kind of ridiculous. Apple Vision Pro is going to be $3,000. You won't be able to use it with anything outside of Apple products. And it's not like Apple is slamming out gaming hardware or anything. You know what I mean? They're doing a better job of it. But this seems very promotional. Yeah. Steam's latest free game is essentially Pokemon on PC. We'll take a look at that. Microsoft's proposed strategy to spin Sony out of business revealed in 2019 internal email. This is crazy, dude. There's a bunch of like emails from both sides, like the top of PlayStation, top of Xbox, are getting leaked in these proceedings with the FTC. It's really wild. PS users can grab an extra free game. No PS Plus required, I think. That's cool. Popular Star Wars game, only $2 in a new sale. Take a look at that. Yo, nice Gothic. That's awesome. Yeah, we got rated right off the bat this morning by Gothic, just so you guys know. There's Gothic's channel. And if you guys want to take a look, maybe throw a follow, that'd be cool. Wait, what? We've already talked about this. Yeah, they're digital only. So many games. It's happening to so many games. It's not necessarily the developer's fault, to be honest. Even though the developers of a lot of games and publishers of games are getting the backlash for it, people should be aiming this at console developers, not necessarily the developers of the games and the publishers of the games themselves. We've talked about it too much. They're still developing consoles with optical drives. What do you want? There's not much that can be done there, and small hard drives. The like Xbox and PlayStation, they're not doing consumers any or developers any favors. So I don't know. We've talked about this. I'm not going to dive into it. Oh, we got a July 1st Bandai Namco showcase. Ooh. We've got this up. We'll look at that. Dude, I get so sick of this stuff. Like, why is the Elder Scrolls 6 taking so long to make? Because, bro, they haven't released Starfield yet. Most of Bethesda's team is working on Starfield. So, what do people expect to be done here? You know what I mean? People are like, well, it's such a big studio. Why can't they just work on both at the same time? Look, man, I'm gonna say this right now. I think that's one of the big issues that a lot of the big studios get themselves in trouble with. Just spread too thin across too many big projects, and then it results in subpar products being pushed out. So I wish people would just shut up about Elder Scrolls 6. Just be happy with the fact that if you're a fan of Bethesda, right, and their games and everything, we're getting Starfield very soon. Play it, enjoy it. Hopefully, it'll be good. You'll be able to enjoy that. And as after Starfield releases, there is no doubt about the fact they will be focused full force on Elder Scrolls 6. That's the other project they have on the back burner right now. And as soon as Starfield's finished, they will be working on it. That'll be their focus. People act like this is like an easy thing for developers to do or something. Like these big, massive world, massive scope projects for development. I am glad they're not working on both these games at the same time. Jesus. Just shut up, chill out. We'll get Elder Scrolls 6 when we're supposed to get it, but they're not going to be working on this full force until they get done with Starfield. It's so stupid. Just chill out, man. It's so dumb that, like, dude, we know we're at least 5 years away from this game. So why are we even in this discussion right now of people throwing a fit about why is it taking so long for Elder Scrolls 6? Bro, we know they've told us it's still 5 years away. Just it is what it is, man. Quit trying to rush them, dude. Oh, Diablo fans are calling for offline mode after their DDoS attack. I doubt they'll get it. I seriously doubt it. Yeah, we've got the City Skylines 2 stuff up. Riot reveals Runeterra's Soul Fighter? I don't think I've even heard of that. Yo, they're putting Barbie's pink Chevy in Forza 5, dude. That's funny. What is this? Hmm. Each company has their own tactics they use. Let's be honest here. No flipping way, dude. A Barbie themed Xbox Series S. What? Oh, dude. 3 alarms went off. Yikers, bro. Yo, look at this alarm. Look at this Barbie Xbox Series S, dog. Comes with its own dream house, bro. This is awesome. I love that they're doing this. This is sick, dude. Yo, yo, bro. First off, this is right up Pinky's alley. So, oh no, dude. I gotta hit up Pinky in this. There we go. That's his jam right there. Yeah, yeah. That's Pinky. That's Pinky's jam. Isn't it so gross? It's so gross. I love it. Yo, look at this controller too, dude. This controller has tassels on it, dog. No flipping way. Look at this controller. I just realized this controller has tassels hanging off of it, dude. Some of these tassels are real. It looks like. No way. Are these for real? Bro, no way. Are those for real tassels, dog? Is that real? Or is it just, oh, it looks like it might actually be the way that the faceplate's cut. It's the way the faceplate's cut. Dude, these look real. These look like real like dangly tassels. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Jesus. That's hilarious. We'll read about this. That's gonna be a good article. That's funny, man. Oh my god. That's a good way to start the day out there. All right, that's the articles we'll go over today. Let's see what this is. Uh, Here we go. Starting off good with the corn face, man. Riot reveals Runeterra's Soul Fighter. Hopefully we don't have as many issues today with like the filters and stuff. Yesterday we had some issues. It got a little bit glitchy on us. Okay, yeah, Psycho. Yo, thanks, dude. I hope the rest of work goes well, buddy. Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it turned off. Dude, it got real glitchy yesterday. Runeterra is about to get a brand new adventure when the Soul Fighter event launches into action across League of Legends, Wild Rift, Teamfight Tactics, and Legends of Runeterra. Riot just announced a brand new event about to bring an incredible cross-title event to Runeterra. Each of the hugely popular titles from Riot is set to take part in a brand new Soul Fighter event kicking off next month. One more hour, baby. Let's go, dog. You got this. Beginning on 20 July and running right through the until 28 August. Players picking up any of the mainline Runeterra titles can expect brand new game modes, skins, gameplay features, and more. Inspired by your favorite anime tournament art, the new event spills over from an alternate universe, dragging players into a colorful and diverse world where competitors fight to prove themselves the best of the best on the world's biggest stage. The Tournament of Souls is a competition hosted by the mysterious God's Eye, a grand arena where fighters with extraordinary abilities battle it out. Suffice to say, this immersive battle will unfold in a number of different ways. League of Legends gets a new arena mode. 4 teams of 2 players will fight one another in rotating combat rounds. Between rounds, teams can power up with unique augments and head back into the fight to become the last one standing. TFT, Teamfight Tactics, Soul Brawl is a temporary game mode coming to TFT. Players will head into 2 rounds. First to power up their Soul Crown. Following this, tournament phase begins and players are eliminated in a best-of-3 bracket tournament. Wild Rift Tag Duel is a bit more direct. Players will go one-on-one, picking a team of 3 champions that can tag out to help balance out a fight. Be the last one standing to win this one. Legends of Runeterra won't get a new game mode, but does still get extra goodies. Like all the titles here, the card battler gets a bunch of new cosmetics and passes. New skins are set to drop in a number of games. You can even feel good about cashing out for them. Riot will contribute 20% of proceeds from Soul Fighter Samira, the Soul Fighter Event Pass, and all related bundle sales in League of Legends to the Riot Games Social Impact Fund across one from the 1st through the 28th of August. All right. They've actually got a link down here to Riot's Games website where you can find out even more if you're interested in all these events. All right, guys. There you go. This is amazing. I legit thought these were like for reals tassels, like just hanging off of this. That's funny. Look at this Barbie Xbox with its own dollhouse and everything. Oh, man. Barbie themed Xbox Series S comes with its own dream house. This is fantastic. This is so good. In the decades since its initial inception, the Barbie doll line has crossed over into just about every profession and trend you can think of. Barbie herself has had a number. Didn't the Barbie games just hit the Hall of Fame this year? Or like the first Barbie game hit the Hall of Fame this year or something? I'm pretty sure it's one of the games that hit the Hall of Fame this year. Barbie herself has had a number of careers over the years, including explorer, doctor, influencer, and scores of other. That said, while there have been plenty of Barbie video games over the years, hasn't been much in the way of Barbie-styled gaming hardware. Seeing how most of those Barbie games weren't much to write home about, it wouldn't have been a marketing opportunity. With the upcoming release of the Barbie film, however, that has changed. I think this was yesterday, probably. When was this written? No, yesterday. Yesterday, Xbox announced a new collaborative effort with Mattel and, by extension, the Barbie toy line to promote the release of the Barbie film. Effort includes Barbie and Ken-themed vehicles in Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, we have the Barbie one up, right? Where is that? No. We didn't pull it up. We just read it real quick, yeah. And a line of specifically made Barbie dolls outfitted with Xbox-themed attire. Big draw of this collaboration, however, is a limited edition Barbie-themed Xbox Series S, complete with a multi-story dream house. Life in the Xbox dream house. Dude, that's funny. Starting on July 10th, Xbox will be giving away a limited number of special Barbie-themed Xbox Series S consoles. The console itself is, of course, painted pastel pink with a Barbie logo emblazoned on the front. That's not where it ends. The console is built into the lowest story of a 3-story Barbie Dreamhouse playset. Second story features a living room and garden, while the third story features a bedroom with a heart-shaped bed. There's even a pool in the back, but don't worry, the water's fake. That's not fun. We need real water in there. You know, right next to an electronic device. That makes sense, right? Alongside the Dreamhouse Xbox Series S, Xbox is also giving away new faceplates for the wireless controllers inspired by the outfits worn by Barbie and Ken in the upcoming film. 5 plates in the series, including solid pink, sparkly pink, and tie-dye zebra print, sparkly tassels, each with a Barbie logo on the left handle. If you're interested in obtaining these aggressively pink items for yourself, you can enter to win starting on July 10th from the Xbox Twitter page, as well as via the Microsoft Rewards page. Xbox has not stated at the time of writing exactly how many of the consoles and faceplates will be given away, nor how long the giveaway will last. The Barbie film is slated for release in theaters on July 21st, so it'll probably be at least that long, if not longer. Yo, that's sick. Here you go. I'll link this in case anybody wants to start trying to win themselves a Barbie Dreamhouse Xbox. Yo, that thing is sick. I'm serious. That's a cool special edition Xbox right there, dude. I love it. 300 plus games added to this week's Xbox sales. June 27th. So today through July 4th, all right? Usual batch of weekly Xbox deals has arrived. It includes around 300 brand new discounts for some excellent titles. Deals with Gold, Spotlight, Achievement Hunter, and visually stimulating sales on offer. Hogwarts Legacy, 20% discount on Xbox this week. Modern Warfare 2 is also quite heavily discounted. Below, they've highlighted a few titles from this week's sales that you might have interest in. But if you want to check out the entire list, you'll find it either on your Xbox console in the deals section or on the official Xbox website, which is linked right here. Okay, and I'll link this article for you guys. The majority of these offers listed are expected to expire around July 4th, okay? You can see, I'll go over some of the highest sales that they list. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, 80%. Assassin's Creed Valhalla Ragnarok Edition, 70% off. Borderlands 3 Next Level Edition, 85% off. Far Cry 5, 85%. A bunch of Ubisoft stuff's heavily on sale, huh? Firewatch, 75% off. Immortals Phoenix Rising, 80% off. Yeah, Just Dance, 50% off. A lot of Ubi stuff. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, 60% off. Maneater, 65%. PC Building Simulator, 75% off. Soundfall, 70% off. Division 2, 70% off. Ubi. Quarry, 67% off. Watch Dogs Legion Ultimate Edition, 80% off. What Remains of Edith Finch, 75% off. Wreckfest, 60% off. Lots of deals if you're interested, guys. All right. Here you go. All right, studio behind one of 2023's best games just laid off a ton of devs. Scavenger Studio cuts developers after indie PlayStation exclusive season failed to sell well. The video game industry is littered with canceled projects and bad games, so it's amazing when something manages to, 1, get released, and 2, be really, really good. Season, A Letter to the Future, checked both boxes, arriving on PS5 and PC earlier this year to some rave reviews that praised the open-world narrative game for its beautiful art and piercing meditation on the past and how we process it. That didn't stop the studio behind it from recently laying off over half of its developers. On June 20th, Scavenger Studio CEO Emily Lamarche sent an email to staff she'd never planned on writing when she co-founded it nearly 8 years ago. It revealed that Season, a game about a woman documenting the world from her bike before a cataclysmic event, had only managed to sell 60,000 copies in its first 5 months, apparently leaving the small Montreal-based operation out of options. Given the current global economic context and Season's financial results, we have been left with no choice but to make the difficult decision. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Of downsizing the studio. Man, I felt like I slept really, really poorly last night. Make the difficult decision of downsizing the studio to a smaller, sustainable group of game developers. I know, Vault. I'm sorry, man. I know. I hate yawning on stream. I don't want you guys to be yawning because I'm yawning. You know. She wrote in an email the studio shared with Kotaku. Unfortunately, this means parting ways with all but approximately 16 members of the Scavenger Studio team. Jeez, bro. Bro, yo. Let's take a look at this.
I left my home to record the world before it ends.
I don't actually remember hearing much on this. That bike is dope,
and why is it ending? I cycled across the earth until I came upon a strange valley and met the last remaining inhabitants. A widow, her son,
God,
an old artist, a community organizer, a reclusive monk. I was with them in the final moments before the evacuation. Who are they? What kind of power shaped their lives? And how is it connected to what will happen to us? If the answers aren't in my journal, if these lives aren't captured here, they'll be lost in the turning of the season.
That looks amazing. just like visually, you know what I mean? It's on Steam, dude? Hold on. %93 positive. Interesting. That feels bad.
I left my home to record the world before it ends.
We talk about that a lot. There are a lot of good games out there that just haven't survived because they didn't sell well, or didn't have enough of a player base or whatever. The remaining employees will begin work on a new gameplay-driven project while the studio claims it will provide financial and psychological support as well as extended health coverage benefits to those laid off. Not a decision I took lightly, LaMarche told Kotaku over the phone. Been several months and efforts of just flipping trying to see what we could do, who we could talk to, how we can leverage more funds. Established in 2015, Scavengers announced the goofy post-apocalyptic free-to-play battle royale game The Darwin Project at Microsoft's 2017 Xbox Showcase. It launched in early access a year later, with the India studio pivoting to its next project a couple of years later. That game Season made a big splash with its dazzling trailer when it was revealed at the 2020 Game Awards. Months later, however, an expose by GameIndustry.biz alleged a toxic work environment at the studio, driven by creative director Simon Darvaux and enabled by LaMarche. She temporarily stepped down but was later reinstated after an outside investigation by Solertia Counseling Group reportedly found no systemic sexual or psychological harassment at the studio. Darvaux was moved to a non-managerial role and, according to his LinkedIn page, left Scavengers earlier this year to become creative director at a new, currently unannounced studio. Season finally arrived to tons of critical acclaim. Waypoint called it a masterful meditation on history and memory. Polygon wrote, Season is about every little thing we can value in life, as fleeting as the seasons, and it's one of my favorite games in years. Edge magazine gave the game a 9, lauding the game's incisive writing and impactful dialogue choices. Despite arriving early this year, earning some glowing reviews, and having a timed console exclusivity deal with PlayStation, game sold poorly. LaMarche wouldn't reveal its budget or sales goals, but said that a few content updates and discounts in the months following launch failed to significantly move the needle. Rising interest rates and an uncertain economy didn't make the math any easier. The concept of having to make this decision is to be able to keep the survival of the studio, so I wouldn't make this kind of decision if it was not to continue to do games, LaMarche said. In her email to staff, she hinted that Scavenger's next game will be more in the mold of the Darwin Project, potentially signaling a return to something with more of a live service multiplayer bent. One thing she wanted to make clear was that the studio's current struggles aren't a reflection of its talent. Everyone that has been involved, either on the Darwin or Season, we picked those people, and they have been through so many ups and downs with me for the last several years, she said. They are golden, so it's not a reflection of their individual performance, what's going on. Huh. That feels bad. Interesting. I'll link this so you guys can take a look. The game looks cool. It looks really neat. Feels bad. City Skylines 2 simulation is so realistic that all the young people are broke. Oh, no. Yeah. Money will be one element of AI pathfinding, and just like in real life, younger people won't have much of it. Traffic AI feature highlights number 2. See this, and then we'll read the rest of it.
People are the lifeblood of your city. As they move through it, they set the city's pulse. Not in the cold rhythms of code, but with the variability and pace of a real city.
Apparently there's only Chinese subtitles.
The same order and chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once. It's a level of vibrant realism you've never seen before, and it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance, but ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal. Pathfinding?
They almost drilled that person.
In City Skylines 2, 4 main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there. The path with the lowest cost is the path they choose. But how people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the 4 pathfinding costs. Time is usually the most important pathfinding cost. Everyone will pick their quickest route to their destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there. Easy parking is actually the deciding factor for some people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money. That's another pathfinding cost: money. Fuel, parking, and public transport tickets can seriously add up. So it's a factor in where people choose to go and how they get there. The final factor influencing pathfinding is behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and speeding can reduce travel times.
These drivers be crazy, yo.
Avoid some of the inconvenience
it's like real life.
Travel. To keep pathfinding costs low, people will reroute if something happens on their journey. For example, if they get caught behind a traffic accident that takes too long to clear, they'll find another way to get where they're going. Hang on. Traffic accidents? Afraid so. Drivers can lose control and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings. Yikes. You see, things like wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision. But it's actually poor road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic Info View takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real-time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic, so you can resolve problems quickly. Deep simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how people choose their path? That is always a response to the world around them. A world of your creation.
Oh. Interesting. As we get closer to the October 24th release of City Skylines 2, Paradox Interactive is sharing more about how the City Builder sequel works. Today in a new video and development diary, we learned a lot about how traffic will find its way through the cities. We build using a new AI pathfinding system. The system already sounds more complex than the one in the original City Skylines game, which operated solely on proximity. It also sounds more realistic, since one of the factors that will help AI decide where to go is the cost of things like parking and transportation. Just like in real life, the younger simulated residents of City Skylines 2 don't have as much money as the older folks do. For teens, the most important factor is money. To seek out cheap options when traveling, be it the means of transportation or parking behavior. Diary says adults value time, so the quickest route is usually the best for them. Seniors prefer a high comfort level, as long as the comfort cost is small. Seniors tend to choose that option. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Those dang wealthy seniors only thinking about their own comfort as they cruise through the city, wondering why the youth of today don't buy houses and diamond rings and start families at age 19. because young people don't have money because you won't pay them a living wage, boomer. Yeah, boomers. Or maybe I'm reading too much into things. Either way, it's an interesting system for pathfinding, and I don't think I've ever heard of a game taking the age of the AI into account when calculating how they'll get around. Diary continues, adults are most concerned about time, choose places that are along the quickest route. Teens have the least money, choose cheap parking options, even if it means they have to walk longer distances or use other means of transportation to complete their travel. More to it, such as like risky decision making based on probably age and stuff like that too. Like delivery vehicles, people doing jobs and stuff will be less likely to make dangerous decisions. Yeah, kind of wild. Neat. Yeah, seems like it's they've got some definite evolution stuff going on in City Skylines too. There's more to read there if you're interested, but that's the meat of it anyways. ROG Ally mostly beats Valve's Steam Deck in repairability, and that's great news for miniaturized PC gaming. Yeah, interesting. If something were to break, this was one of my big concerns about a major competitor coming in to compete with the Steam Deck, right? Was repairability, quality of the build, along with repairability. So that's one of the things that the Steam Deck got they did very, very well in the development of that device. And they've been praised for it, Valve has. Not only are you able to access the device without voiding the warranty that could be on it, but they made parts easily accessible, created cheaply, so you can buy them cheaper. Not that the quality isn't good on the replacement parts and stuff, but it's not like Valve is the only place you can get them from, right? You can get these parts created from third-party retailers very easily. And that brings the price of those parts down. And apparently the repairs on those, like the Steam Deck is fairly easy. So that was one of my big things that I was wondering was like, how are they going to do with Asus ROG Ally and competing on that front with the Steam Deck, right? And I hadn't really seen anything yet, but it appears that maybe they've done a pretty good job. If something were to break on your ROG Ally, it might be a surprisingly simple repair. That's what repair site iFixit, which is a great site, is saying after its teardown of the handheld gaming console, which made it look pretty easy. In a short video on its YouTube channel, the repair company set about removing each component making up Asus's handheld Windows PC. For the most part, a set of screwdrivers will see you through the disassembly process. The battery, thumbsticks, motors, SSD, and cooling components all peel off once unscrewed from the motherboard / case of the Ally. The only sticking point is the screen, which iFixit notes isn't repair friendly, but also isn't too much of an issue to remove. The ROG Ally actually scores a big win versus the Steam Deck for repairability on a couple of points. First, the battery. Whereas the battery is glued down in the Steam Deck, requiring a heat gun for the most effective removal, in the ROG Ally, it's simply screwed in. Then there's the thumbsticks, which are easier to remove directly without touching the wider thumbstick module on the ROG Ally. On the Steam Deck, you're better off switching out the entire module, but that's a relatively affordable and easy option, so both are pretty decent in this regard. iFixit also notes that Asus has reinforced the bumper buttons on the ROG Ally, which are a potential failure point on the Steam Deck. The ROG Ally uses the same solid-state drive format as the Steam Deck 2, which is just a win for customers, as there are plenty of these now on the market, all the way up to 2 terabytes of storage. I'll admit this wasn't the outcome I had expected. Maybe that's me conflating the hardware and software ecosystems of these machines, but considering the Steam Deck's more all-together and open software package next to the Windows-based ROG Ally, I thought Valve's device would be a shoo-in for most repairable too. I was on the same thought process there. Yet Asus has done a commendable job with this one, which shouldn't be surprising knowing how long Asus spent working on the design. Though it must be said that Valve offers a wide range of spare parts for the Steam Deck, and that's not something you can get from Asus right now. That is a big deal, like I was talking about. However you cut it, it's crucially important for these PC gaming handhelds, if they are to stick around, that they be repairable from the very beginning. PC gaming is at its best when it's easy to fix, mod, and customize. Absolutely. But that's good news. That's good news, man. Nice. If you guys want to watch the video, here you go. MetaQuest Plus is basically just PlayStation Plus for gamers. Can I offer you another subscription service in this trying time? One of the best value VR gaming headsets just got even better. Mark Zuckerberg has announced that all MetaQuest headsets will now have access to a subscription service that's on par with Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Really, though, is it? This means that the MetaQuest 2, one of the best VR headsets for folks who can't afford higher-end PC VR, has just become an even more worthwhile purchase. MetaQuest Pro and upcoming MetaQuest 3 will also have access to MetaQuest Plus, which is available from today. I'm guessing yesterday. What date? No, this was an hour ago. The subscription service will cost $8 US a month or £8 per month or $60 or £60 annually. Will offer users 2 free games to redeem every month, which will then remain in a subscriber's library as long as they remain a paid member. Just like PlayStation Plus. You can also cancel at any time. In an added bonus, if you rejoin the service later, you'll regain access to the titles you had in your initial subscription. Starting from now until July 31st, an offer exists that will let early adopters get their first month of MetaQuest Plus for $1. That early bird offer will be great for anyone making use of Prime Day MetaQuest deals to get a hold of a headset, and we expect to see more offers on games and the best MetaQuest 2 accessories in particular. Let's see this. Games available in the first month will be VR Staple Pistol Whip and the more nostalgic Pixel Ripped. For August, Walkabout Mini Golf and Mother Gunship Forge will be available. Games will be added to the service on the first of each month, which is worth taking note of. This news comes after the MetaQuest 2 received its first price drop in recent times, which was most likely by a move by Meta to get as much attention back to it after the reveal of the Apple Vision Pro. Yep. Big price difference between these two products too. We weren't massive fans of the MetaQuest Pro and wouldn't recommend it if you just plan to use the VR headset for gaming. But the MetaQuest 2 remains one of our favorite virtual reality platforms for gaming, not least due to its accessibility and expansive library of games. Yeah. If you're comfortable with supporting a company like Facebook/Meta, that is. I'll link it for you. THQ Nordic is strictly limiting physical releases of PC games. I haven't actually seen a physical PC game in a long time. Have I just had my eyes closed or what? Austrian publisher lays out the future of physical PC game releases. After the entire debate around Starfield and Alan Wake 2 getting physical releases with game discs or not, Austrian publisher THQ Nordic has come out to clarify its stance on this topic and give it some structure. For every release on PC that includes a physical release as well, THQ Nordic will perform a very limited print run with serially numbered prints of not only its standard editions, but also eligible collector's editions, the company announced. What does that mean for the future releases of PC games from the company, which belongs to Swedish gaming giant Embracer Group? All of the available units will be premium packaged and serial numbered and sealed like collection items. Seems like we are talking about very limited numbers of physical copies being distributed in select places here. First 10 to 50 items, depending on the overall size of a particular run, will be earmarked for THQ Nordic's store in Vienna. Second batch will be available online through THQ Nordic's digital stores as well as selected retail partners. The very last number of the limited print run will always be sent to the Embracer Games archive. Publisher presented the upcoming Jagged Alliance 3 as a case study for how this is going to look like. 2,500 copies of the game's standard edition are going to be produced. Number 1 to number 20 will be available in the Vienna store. The rest of the 1,500 German language copies can be bought online through the THQ Nordic store or German retailers. International version will be printed 999 times with similar distribution sources. Number 2,500 is going to be sent to Embracer's archive. Every special edition of the game is even more limited. 750 copies for the collector's edition and 200 for the tactical Vienna store edition. THQ Nordic plans on compiling the data for all upcoming releases following this scheme online and gave a list of games for which this will be the case. Gothic 1 Remake, Alone in the Dark, Trine 5, Tempest Rising, Last Train Home, Recreation, Space for Sale, Outcast 2. For PC games, digital distribution has long become the standard thanks to platforms like Steam and the popularity of indie games. So these changes at THQ Nordic, more than anything else, simply reflect the reality and codify this development. So basically, that's what it is. They're still doing physical prints for like collectors for the most part. That's what it is. If you need it, I'll link it. Physical Batman. So, Physical Batman Arkham Trilogy Switch port requires downloads for 2 games. That's interesting. So we just saw where during the Nintendo Direct recently that the Batman Arkham Trilogy games were going to be hitting the Switch, right? Warner Brothers, shush your mouth, has confirmed that the physical version of Batman Arkham Trilogy for Nintendo Switch will only actually include Arkham Asylum on the cartridge. The physical version will include download codes for Arkham City and Arkham Knight, meaning an internet connection will be required to install them on Switch systems. According to the game's publisher, Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight will both require an online connection to download and install those titles when the Batman Arkham Trilogy cartridge is inserted into the Switch console. All 3 games will then be playable as long as the cartridge is inserted into the Nintendo Switch console. What? It's unclear what the download sizes for each of the digital games will be, but it's possible to take up a considerable amount of storage space. For context, Steam version of Arkham City is around 17 gigs, while Arkham Knight clocks in at 45 gigs. Studio behind the port Turn Me Up Games will likely condense each game on Switch, meaning it's possible to take up less storage space than their Steam or console counterparts. Not unusual for physical Switch boxes to include download codes for some, if not all, games in a collection. For instance, the Borderlands Legendary Collection only actually includes the first Borderlands games on the cartridge, while the other entries must be downloaded digitally. Why, though? I would like to know why. It's not like they couldn't put all those games on a single cartridge. Are they saying it's just going to be too expensive or something? They just don't want to pay for the cost of a larger cartridge to put it all on or something. Dude, the market's getting so weird with this stuff. I keep talking about how the Switch is actually incorporating a better medium for physical game releases than on a flipping much older system than PS5 or Xbox Series X and S in regards to being able to incorporate physical releases for what has become, big games nowadays. Games are getting super, super big, storage requirements wise. And optical drives can't do it anymore. Optical media can't handle it anymore. And so a lot of these console games are getting no physical releases due to that fact. But here we have the Switch that has a media that can be used to put these types of games on it. And now we get games that are getting released, even old games that are getting ported to the console, but they're like, we'll just put one of them on a cartridge and the other two you have to download. That's weird. I would like to know why. It's got to be a cost thing. It's got to be. They're like, we can save some money if we just don't put all of them on the cartridge. That's what it is. I guarantee it, man. It feels really weird and bad. There's a reason why people buy physical, dude. There's 3 main reasons. And if you're buying physical, you expect physical, not 1 physical game and 2 digital games. Like, what the crap? Xbox Game Pass July 2023. New free games, news, leaks, and predictions. We're just going to go with Game Pass July stuff if we can here. Confirmed new games for Game Pass in July. I think we kind of touched on this already, but Arcade Paradise, yeah. We touched Sword and Fairy, also Exoprimal. I'm excited to try Exoprimal. I hope it's going to be good. If you guys need more, we'd already kind of touched on this. I'm just going to link this, let you take a look if you want. But we'd already talked about this. Here's a big one I'm interested in, man. Payday 3 plays great, but that's not the biggest challenge the shooter faces. When Payday 3 launches this September, it'll have been over a decade since the release of its predecessor. Follow-up to one of the most popular games on Steam, Payday 3 looks to update the cooperative heist experience by deepening the interactions players can have before and after the cops arrive with character and weapon customization, as well as a new story. I went hands-on with Payday 3 following its gameplay reveal at the Xbox Game Showcase. Found it executed solidly on all those fronts. Here you go. If you don't know what Payday is,
all right, guys.
I'm hyped. I played a good solid amount of Payday 2 back in the day. Early 20-teens. Man. Loved it. I had a great time.
Everybody hit the fucking floor.
It gets crazy too. Like the longer a heist goes, the more gnarly it gets. The more enemies come in. You get big, flipping, gnarly, like juggernaut guys that come in after you. They're hard to take down, dude. Those guys are gross. I'm excited for this. It's shaping up to be more of what fans of the series will love, although it's hard to be sold on this game ahead of its release. While my time with it was promising, the 10 years between games has been tough on Starbreeze, studio that's dealt with Payday 2 post-launch controversies, rough console ports, and the Walking Dead game that flopped. In an interview, I asked Starbreeze what it has learned from the tribulations it has faced over the last decade, so fans have an idea of where the studio is heading into the game's launch in a couple of months. Proper successor. Payday 3 is very similar to its predecessor at its core. Up to 4 players can pull off a series of heists together, like breaking into the bank. To be successful, they have to work together to scope things out, fight off enemies when things inevitably take a turn for the worse. Payday 3 doesn't do much to radically shake up the basic formula across the 2 missions in this demo build. The fairly by-the-numbers bank robbery and the no rest for the wicked and under the surface where the players steal valuable art from a gallery. Before entering a match, players will notice some improvements over Payday 2. like deeper character customization, a robust skill tree system that players can easily reset and adapt to as new skills are added post-launch. Once a mission starts, you'll notice the earliest phases of the heist have been deepened. There are many options and ways to seek out a map before a heist. You can now even move around without a mask on at the cost of more limited mobility. If your crew is really good, you can pull off a heist without much of a struggle. Demos did not go that way, whether it was because someone on my team was spotted somewhere they weren't supposed to be, or by a guard, or someone hit the wrong button and accidentally threw a grenade. Sorry. Things went south. Payday 3 transformed from a stealth game to a full-blown shooter. That's one of the things that was always awesome about Payday 2. Even Payday 2 was really good on that front. That's what I've tried to explain to people. Those games are fun because the best thing you can do is try to be as stealthy as long as possible. Be as calculated and strategic in these operations to get as much done as possible in a stealthy mode as long as possible before things go awry. Just in the long run of these heists, it makes it easier on you. But most of the time, it's inevitable that things kind of hit the fan and the cops get tipped off. But, I mean, it's like going into a bank. It's, getting the guards, taken care of, and not in a violent way, but getting them taken down and zip tied and along with the employees of the bank or whatever before anybody can really do it. But you've got to be aware of other people that might be coming into the bank and stuff like that, right? And you've got to take care of them too. And you've got to get access to the vault at the same time. You got to know who to grab that can get you access to the vault. And there's all kinds of crazy. Every mission's different. There are objectives you have to seek out and take care of. There are different ways to access these locations and get things done. And it can always just get wonky at any time and go crazy. And you got to be ready to just you just got to be ready for things to go nuts, right? And to fight your way out. And you've got to be willing to just maybe leave loot behind. You know what I mean? Because the more that you're trying to take out, the more it affects your character. The more you got to you can throw bags and stuff, but if you're carrying bags around, they're usually really heavy. It slows your character down. It makes it really hard to fight and everything. It's a wild situation. They've done a really good job with Payday 2, and that's why I'm excited for Payday 3. It's a game that requires a lot of coordination and cooperation within your team, and it's a lot of fun. Now possible to trade hostages to earn more time inside a building or respawn a fallen ally, but you'll likely be hunkering down at the extraction point as waves of cops come at you by the end of a mission. My time with Payday 3 showed that it's a faithful continuation of the series. Formula hasn't been transformed in significant ways, which is fine. I mean, you don't need to change something that's not broken, right? Don't try to fix something that's not broken. Still, some new features make the experience more customizable. It should make heists more interesting before they devolve into a firefight. Currently, it seems like fans have a lot to look forward to with Payday 3. That is, if they trust Starbreeze to pull off the game's launch and post-release support. Starbreeze's promise of respect. While Payday 3 is shaping up to be an entertaining multiplayer game with the right group of friends, it's a bit hard to have a ton of faith in this game heading into its launch. Over the past 10 years, Payday 2 made its way through many controversies and scandals, like a massive microtransaction controversy in 2015. Yep. More importantly, Starbreeze's last game, Overkill's The Walking Dead, was so panned at launch that console versions were canceled. The PC version got delisted. Starbreeze nearly went entirely away as a company. That trust is something that can be broken, but anything broken can also be fixed. As such, I'm approaching the studio's next release with a fair bit of caution, as should most interested Payday 3 players. Agreed. During a Q&A portion of my preview, I asked the Starbreeze team directly what they learned from the past mistakes that makes them believe players should trust them now. Amir Listo, global brand manager who's been through all the ups and downs with Starbreeze for the last 12 years, says those experiences taught the studio how to handle its relationship with the game's community heading into the launch of Payday 3. Quote, let's face it, having a large community is not an easy feat. Having a large community and making them happy is even harder. What we learned over the years is that this relationship is like any other relationship in your life with a significant other. It's something that you build over time. That trust is something that can be broken, but anything broken can also be fixed. I do believe that with Payday 3, what we're seeing from our community and players is respect. People respect our decisions and that we've hung in there. We as developers now need to show our respect to them for sticking with us through the thick or thin all these years and all of these events. Essentially, Starbreeze believes it has learned the right things from its past mess-ups, so it doesn't make the same mistakes again. I think that's all you could really ask. And that's what I'm talking about. I have a lot of companies that I have become very disenchanted with, developers, publishers, things like that. And it's not like I've said that I would never play their games again or anything, but I've gotten to a point where I'm very, very skeptical about playing their games currently. But if I see progression from a company, if they've learned from their mistakes, and it looks like they're trying to do better, then I'm much more likely to go back in and play their games moving forward. As opposed to a company where all I see is regression, right? Where it seems like they have a mindset where it's like, oh, well, we got away with it last time. Let's see how much we can get away with this time. That's, when I see companies that do that kind of thing, I'm like, it's a big turnoff for me. It doesn't seem like they're learning from their mistakes. Seems like they're just trying to get over on people more and more and more with broken products and things like that. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to buy into that. I don't want to support those companies, right? Absolutely, Vault. Agreed. It can be difficult for new live service games to take off. Payday 3 technically has the built-in community from the start to pull it off. With a solid gameplay base to offer players, Starbreeze's next challenge is to make Payday 3's launch as successful as it can be. It's coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S on September 21st. It will be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one. I'm really stoked. I know that they've had issues in the past. I loved Payday 2. At its core, it was an amazing game. And I do hope that... I don't know that I'll play it on release. I want to. I'm really hyped about it. But it is, I think, probably warranted that a lot of people hold and see how Starbreeze does with this. Because they deserve some criticism here. They deserve people to be hesitant on this front for what they've done in the past. So I totally agree. This is a very good article. I agree with this very, very much. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I'm hyped about this. Burn them at the stake. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think it's a rough industry because there's not a lot of standards to hold companies accountable for bad products. I think that's the thing that sucks, right? There aren't a lot of standards that hold game developers and publishers accountable for bad products, right? Which is it allows companies to get away with a lot on the consumer, which is one of the reasons I just hate that, dude. I hate it. So it's one of the reasons I have a stance like I do. If I've been burnt before, I'm going to be very hesitant about, taking a dive into those products from that company again because I don't want to get burnt again. That's just me. I don't think they deserve it. But I do hope that Payday 3 is good. Payday 2 was a lot of fun, dude. It really was. I enjoyed it so much. And if they're just holding true to the core of what Payday 2 was, but fleshing it out a little bit more, making it deeper, a more immersive kind of thing, then I think this game's going to be a win. I really do. Payday 2 was phenomenal in my opinion. If you like these kinds of games, I mean, honestly, this is it's an extraction game, is what it is. This really kind of, I think, probably paved the way for some other extraction games because that's what you do. You go, but it's not the same as something like Tarkov, right? Where you're going in solo most of the time, and it's more of a co-op extraction kind of game. It's not as PvP focused as it is PvE focused. It's like a PvE focused extraction kind of game. It's that's probably a pretty good way to explain it. But you have to coordinate very, very well in a co-op situation to figure out how you best want to address your current mission. Because there's a lot of different ways to take it on, and one wrong move can really send things awry, man. It's really crazy. One of the things that's fun is they've always done really cool. As long as I played Payday 2, they always did a lot of really cool events, like for Halloween and Christmas time, holiday season, stuff like that. They always did really cool events where you could get like limited time like masks to run around in the game with, where you wouldn't be able to get them any other time. They wouldn't really come back out with them again or anything. So it was like a bit of a flex. You know, you'd get these custom masks if you completed certain like holiday, limited time holiday event missions and stuff. And it was always cool to have those cool, crazy masks to run around with and like flex around with a little bit and stuff. It's neat. Random mode time. Get them in there, guys. If you need more out of this, I'll link it. Steam's latest free game is essentially Pokemon on PC. We all love free video games. Yeah. Speaking of free, I'll talk about the epic free games after I finish this up. But we all know, as we all know, the likelihood of Pokemon being released in any other format other than on Nintendo consoles is incredibly unlikely. However, unlike some Xbox and PlayStation console exclusives eventually coming to PC such as Halo and God of War, Nintendo will forever keep the likes of Pokemon on its own platforms, and we'd expect nothing less. The mere prospect of playing Pokemon on a rival console just doesn't sit right. But what if we could have a Pokemon alternative on other platforms? Thankfully, Pokemon clones haven't been in short supply over the years, though the quality of each may vary, yeah. Tim Showdown. Cassette Beast. I was actually going to talk about that too. Nice vault, nice. Take, for example, Cassette Beast. Despite suffering post-launch performance issues, indie game is described... I didn't hear about too many performance issues on it, actually, but this indie game is described as having unique ideas, a charming aesthetic, and an engrossing battle system. Might just be one of the best indies you'll play all year. Yeah, I've heard very, 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 very good things about Cassette Beast. It's roughly $20 on Steam. You'll get probably 30 to 40 hours main storyline gameplay out of it, and then apparently it's got a pretty good grindable end game in there too, and it's supposed to be very good. Then we have Tim Tim, developed by Crema and published by Humble Bundle. Tim Tim is an MMO RPG that began life as a Kickstarter campaign in 2018 before arriving as an early access title in 2020 for PC and PS5. It would later release in its final form in 2022, also landing on Xbox Series XS and Switch. Here, let's watch this real quick. Tim Showdown. Build your dream team. Okay. Apparently this is free now, yeah. As reported by PC Games In, if you've ever fancied playing a decent Pokemon clone, a free-to-play spin-off for the aforementioned Tim Tim is out now. What's more, it features no in-game purchases, making it 100% free, which is a rarity in modern video games, especially those that are free-to-play. In Tim Tim Showdown, players will jump right into competitive action in this free multiplayer battle simulator. Build your team in seconds, dash into ranked matches with players from all over the world for pure, no-frills Tim Tim battling action, no leveling or taming required. Sadly, according to the Crema Fag page, Tim Tim Showdown is only available for PC users. There are no mentions of plans to bring the spin-off to consoles. Hopefully that might change in the near future. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, also, Cassette Beast for real. If you're interested in a Pokemon-esque kind of game, then check out Cassette Beast on PC, dude. That game, I think it's actually on Game Pass as well, Xbox, maybe even Switch. But Cassette Beast is supposed to be an absolute banger, man. Before we end this, go ahead and go get your free games. You got like 2 days left for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms and Call of the Wild, the Hunter Call of the Wild. All right, free games, guys, free games. That's on Epic. This is on Steam. PlayStation users can grab an extra free game. Also, no PS Plus required. There is a slight catch here, though. Since the relaunch of revised PlayStation Plus subscription tiers, we've seen the introduction of PS1 and PSP classics being added to the PS Plus library. These classic games of yesteryear are just as we remember, but with a few extra modern-day benefits. For example, the classic games now look extra snazzy with an HD makeover. You can also save the game at any point, particularly handy for the original Resident Evil game. You can even rewind gameplay on the fly. Yeah, it's probably like some kind of bundle edition. I think it's actually usually free. I think it is usually free. I think they're just trying to get people into it. I think it's usually free. Yeah, it probably just hits some extras or something. Yeah, but I do think it's usually a free game. Yeah, every once in a while you'll see it come back up on here. Not that that's abnormal for some of the games they give away, you know, but I do think Idle Champions is normally a free game. But they have like in-game purchase stuff like characters, and I think it's one of those idle types of games like that. If I understanding correctly, I'm not real familiar, you know, so it's something of that nature. Far Cry 6 is available on PS Plus now. The biggest benefit of the biggest benefit of the classic PS1 and PSP games coming to PS Plus is the fact that you can download the newly released games at no cost. These games are only available to PS Plus premium subscribers, or so we originally thought. It turns out, if you have purchased any of the newly released PlayStation Classics via the PS3 and or the PSP PS Vita store, you can download those games at no additional cost without a subscription. Take, for example, Resident Evil Director's Cut. At the time, I wasn't subscribing to PS Plus Premium, so imagine my surprise when I realized I could download and play the survival horror classic on my PS5 for free. The same can now be said for the PSP game Killzone Liberation, which was included in the PS Plus June 2023 lineup, as seen in the tweet below from the share of video game deals Wario64. You know what's really, 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 really gross about this? This should not. This should be by default something get. If you own a digital game on PlayStation, you should be able, like, if it was a PS1 game or whatever, like, and you bought it on their PS3 or whatever, then yeah, it should be part of your account. You should be able to play it on any of their platforms forever. It shouldn't even be a thought that you wouldn't be able to. That's what's crazy, right? That's the same thing. That's what I'm talking about with like all these console players. Same thing with Nintendo, same thing with Xbox. It doesn't matter. If you have ever purchased a game previously, you should be able to play it on their platform forever. It doesn't matter. This is where the console market has gotten disgusting. In comparison with like PC side of things, especially, it's so gross, dude. You see how like surprised these individuals are? Like, man, if you purchase a PlayStation Classic on like the PS3 and Vita store, you can actually download those and play them on like the PS5. What? It's almost like you bought this on the PlayStation platform and you can still play it on the PlayStation platform. What? That's absolutely the way that should work. Specifically, when it comes to Killzone Liberation, the game was offered as a freebie during following the 2011 PSN hack. If you redeemed it back then, you can redeem it once again now for free. No PS Plus required. What's more, if you've never purchased a PlayStation Classic from a previous generation, you can still buy the re-release for a modest $10 US or £8. That being said, if you have purchased a classic game of yesteryear, keep a lookout for the next batch of PS Plus games. One of your favorites may be next. Looking at you, Resident Evil 2, 3, Silent Hill, and Tomb Raider. The console developers are so gross, dude. I don't know if you need this here. Popular Star Wars game is only $2 in new sale. Between recent releases like Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Squadrons, and upcoming releases like Outlaws, it's a decent time to be a fan of... Is it? Star Wars Jedi Survivor was a hot piece of garbage, dude.
You were only a child when they sent you off to war.
Even over the last 30 days, this game is still just hitting 70%. I guarantee you it still has a ton of performance issues. And this game was not just getting wrecked on PC. This game was a terrible release across all platforms. I think it was worse on PC, but it was bad on PlayStation, it was bad on Xbox, and it was terrible on PC. At 62% of 30,000 user reviews. Is it a great time for Star Wars fans? Comic book, is it? Is it a decent time to be a fan of Star Wars video games? Come on, man. And let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Let me read this. Let's talk about this. Who wrote this, dude? Tyler Fisher continues. Tyler Fisher continues with it hasn't always been like this, though. There was a period where Star Wars games weren't in a great place for several years up to 2015, when Star Wars Battlefront began to turn the ship in the right direction. Millions upon millions have enjoyed the first-person shooter since its release, making it one of the most popular Star Wars games ever made. That said, if you've never tried the shooter, you can now do so for $2. I'll say this. Do you guys know how many Star Wars games have been made over the years? It is a massive amount. It's a huge amount of games. And there's probably a handful of them. Like, that are solid, really. There's probably another handful that are decent, good, decent to good. And then most of them are like mediocre at best. This is like one of those series that just gets polluted by developers of like. So to have somebody sit here and say this, it's like there was a period where Star Wars games weren't in a great place for several. It's never been in a fantastic place because it's just polluted with subpar releases all the time. Because it's just like, for me, Star Wars, it's just like the movies and shows. They just can't quit making enough of it, dude. And it's not all of it is fantastic, dude. Let's be honest here. There are a lot of people that are huge Star Wars fans. They'll probably disagree with that. But for reals, man, there's small amounts of it that are pretty solid. Not a whole lot of it is fantastic content. That's the same way for the games. And that's all going to be respective, obviously. And I have not played every Star Wars game out there or anything, but I think consensus, you can go take a look at reviews out there for all the Star Wars games that have ever been made. There's a handful that have been reviewed very, very well, but that's about it of a ton of Star Wars games that have been made over the years. So on that note, it's always weird to see people write like this whenever it's like, I don't know, man, just doesn't seem quite consistent with what the majority of the gaming community tends to think about that. On PS4 and Xbox One, not PS5 or Series X and S, but is playable on those machines via backwards compatibility and is only $2 at GameStop. Only catch is the deal is for pre-owned versions of the game. So $2 right now at GameStop. Star Wars Battlefront. Cool. Last article I have, and then we'll get ready for some gaming today, man. Doing some more grounded. A lot more zip lining. Probably a lot more Black Ant engagement. Maybe some Antlion stuff. Yeah, probably not. Probably death to Antlions. Bandai Namco confirmed showcase on July 1st at Anime Expo. So, with excitement reaching fever pitch, Bandai Namco, the household name in anime video games, gears up to dominate the Anime Expo 2023 with its much anticipated summer showcase. Promising a wave of thrilling announcements, game reveals, and numerous on-the-floor activities, the showcase is going to take place on July 1st, from 4:30 p.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific. Yikers, that's really late for us. We're going to have to recap this. That would be 6:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. for us. So we'll watch the VOD the next day. Bandai Namco Summer Showcase panel returns this year, once again bringing together top anime game makers from Japan to deliver a barrage of news and reveals. Press release reads, leaving fans excited for what could be announced and showcased at this said event. Yeah, Bandai, we've got Tekken, Soul Calibur, Dragon Ball. Yeah, for this year, fans are eagerly awaiting news on various anime titles, including Naruto, Sandland, which looks cool, Sword Art Online, Baten Kaitos, and more. Although we'd definitely be okay if Bandai threw us a curveball and dropped in Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, because they will be publishing that for From Software, or anything about Elden Ring. Because, again, that is another title they publish for From Software. Until From Software starts publishing their own content, which it looks like it's coming pretty quick. Updates on the much anticipated return of the iconic Dragon Ball line of fighting games, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4 and the anime MMO Blue Protocol are eagerly awaited if accepted as well. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll bookmark this. I'll bookmark this and we'll watch the VOD after it takes place, man, and make sure we see everything that comes about. I'm sure we'll get stuff in the news too, but yeah, it'll be good. Should be a lot of stuff coming out of Bandai there. Cool. That's the news, baby. That's what we got for today. You guys rock. Appreciate you. We're going to move on. We're going to do Grounded. Another day of Grounded. We're trying to progress, keep going, keep working on this story and everything. I'm sure Pinky will be around here in a little bit. We'll play together, as well as maybe True, and I don't know, we'll see if Mithril shows up. So you guys rock. I appreciate you. Another great video gaming news segment, and I'm sure we'll have a fun day today as well. No content, no live stream tomorrow. Wednesdays are off right now, but we'll be back to it on Thursday, man, for June 29th edition, okay? If anybody is checking out this video gaming news segment on either as a VOD on Twitch or YouTube, or you were watching it right now, we've got all kinds of previous video gaming news segments. We've got clips from those. We've got playthroughs. All of we got playthroughs that are segmented into episodes, as well as fun, wild clips and highlights that have just happened here in the channel that are on both the YouTube channel and the Twitch channel. So go take a look at all that. If you're enjoying it, come hang out with myself and the rest of the amazing people that are part of our community here whenever we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day, but Wednesdays right now. We always start off with video gaming news, try to stay up to date with what's going on in the industry before we move on and dive into whatever video gameplay content we have planned for the rest of the day, okay? So other than that, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and a great Wednesday until we're back with our next video gaming news segment on June 29th, all right?